Hi, and we're live. Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi. So what is it? Saturday? Happy Saturday. Thank you for coming. And I want to say hi to some people coming in. Uh, Creepy B. Hey, Creepy B5. Hello. Morning, Marilyn. Thank you for taking your time. Love you all. So supportive and caring. Yes, you all are very supportive and very caring. And I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. And Creepy said, I really, really need this chat today. Me too. I can say that too. Yes. Uh, Everyone's saying hi to each other. Cat, but no hat. Hello. Uh, Two cats, cat with a C and cat with a K. Hello, everyone. One of my fabulous mods. And we've got Lene. Good morning. Good morning. Our friend Joel, good morning. Greetings from Southeast Colorado, the tumbleweed capital of the world. Love it. Nice. Marilyn Rose, thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Maya, hey Maya, good afternoon. Good afternoon over there across the pond. Violet L, hey Violet, good morning everyone. Good morning, Violet. And Lene is in Texas. It's going to be sunny and 70 degrees. Oh, I am so jealous. So jealous. Susan P, morning, Maryland, and all in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. No Talk Tony. Hello there. Good morning, everyone. Hugs and loves to all. Yes, hugs and love to you. There she is. Hey, hey, Pup Groomer 20. Hello, hello. Oh, I hear ya. No Talk Tony. I'm supposed to go to my writers group this morning. Just don't have the energy. Yeah, I understand. Well, you can just hang out with us. That's okay. Yeah, so we got more people coming in. Hello. Miss Sunrise John. Hello. Oh, my nose itches. That's weird. um, Hi from North Georgia. Hello. Another one of my fabulous mods. Oh, here we go. Joe DeCeppo, I'm backstage, but just wanted to say hi to everyone. Hey, Joe. Yes, the fabulous Joe DeCeppo, I don't know, about 5 or 10 minutes ago, popped into my messenger and said, would you like me to mod? And I'm like, would you mind starting questions? That would be awesome. So, yeah, very, very appreciative of Joe and our whole team here, all the mods, and love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So, oh, there she is, Barbara. Hello. Hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful Barbara, Tampa Bay man. So good to see you. Uh-oh. Here comes trouble. Denver, see what the dickens is going on here this morning. You never know. We're always up to no good here. Oh, 37 and cloudy in Michigan. That's more like it here. It's very raw, that cold, damp. And then Duncan woke up this morning and said he was going skiing. And I'm like, isn't it like raining? And he's like, no, it's supposed to stop. And they're making snow at I think he's going to Jiminy Peak. Yeah, they're making snow there. So he is going to be in his glory. Everybody say hi to Denver, the rock star. Hey. Hi, Sophia. Got my pancake and my Maryland. All right. Sounds good to me. 30 degrees in London, Britain. Brr. Oh my goodness, Joe. Yeah. Yep. That's kind of how it is here. It's probably in the 30s here. Oh, geez. I don't know. I feel like I'm eavesdropping on this conversation, but Pre-PB5 Denver, am I going to sleep with you soon? Well, sounds personal. Auntie Harju. Hello, peeps. Hello, Auntie. Who else we got? Oh, Mena. Hey, Mena. Hey, everybody. So good to see everybody coming in. All right. Good to see you. Yeah. So here we are. I want to do a little bit. Sorry, my nose is itching today. Ugh, that's gross. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I made a mistake yesterday. I don't know how this happened, but for some reason, StreamYard's being really wonky lately, and, so I'll blame it on StreamYard, but, it could have been me, I don't know what happened, but I didn't see this until, later on after the chat loaded. There was a super chat that was missed. I really wanna read it because I feel like, people should have their all their super chats read. It's just my opinion. I try to read as many comments, as possible, and, obviously, we read mostly non-super chats, but I really wanna read this. It was from Gary Mackey, and he said, "I have unsubbed from several channels. I liked watching Chris and Tony, but if you are trying to be a news type channel, you have to double check sources. Hi to two of my faves, Liz Ferris and Liz Gale." So Liz Ferris and Liz Gale were in the chat, and they're two of my faves too. So we have that in common. And as far as, Chris and Tony, being a news type channel, you have to double check sources. Yeah, I can't really speak to that. I can just speak for myself. I'm definitely not a news type channel. And that brings me to my disclaimer. My lately it's been sort of like a daily disclaimer of, I'm not a, professional anything. I'm not a lawyer, a doctor, a healthcare professional. I'm not a mental health care professional. What else? Not a scholar. I'm not an expert. I just share from my experiences and my heart. And this is, as you know, morning musings. So just sharing what's on my mind and from my own experiences. So, I guess when I didn't think of it at first, but now that I think of it, the phrase critical thinking in SPTV land or in this ex Scientologist sphere, people probably automatically think of Chris Shelton, and I will say that I used to really listen to a lot of his material. I've just been gotten busy and haven't really listened to him lately. I know that he has been just so helpful to so many people, and I found him very helpful when I started looking into, um, learning about the definitions of coercive control. I think he has a master's degree in coercive control, which I had never heard of. I think that's great. Um, he's helped people. He's calls his followers critics or something like critical thinkers. I didn't. I thought about maybe listening to some of his streams last night while I was doing a little bit of research. And I decided not to just because number one, I didn't have a lot of time. And number two, I kind of wanted to look at it from um, coming from a perspective of like all angles and probably gleaning from what I learned from him early on, but also just my own experience and some very basic definitions because I um, I want to make things like understandable to myself, like accessible. And sometimes when I get bogged down with a lot of research and sources and trying to read things, trying to listen to things and gather so much scholarly information that I'm gonna be honest, guys, the words get like jumbled. I don't know why I can't read. I'm not saying I'm not smart. I'm just not book smart. And there's very few books that I've actually ever really finished, honestly, that weren't like romance novels or self help. I've read a lot of self help books, um, and I did buy Dianetics in 1989 because I liked the commercial. I thought it was really cool. And damn you, Jefferson Hawkins, right? But I couldn't make hide nor hair of it, as my adopted dad would say. So when I moved, it just kind of got thrown probably in the trash. Who knows what happened to it. But yeah. So another thing I want to say is I did go back and look at some of okay, are we already arguing about Chris Shelton? Okay, this guys, I'm really serious. Need you to look at me and concentrate for a minute. Okay. I did look at some of the chats from yesterday, and I just want to say I I really like you all. If I have to call out names, I will, but please don't be you can say your opinion, that's fine. If you harp on it and you just keep rapid fire and I'm seeing you every 3 or 4 things, I'm sorry, go to another channel and do that. There's plenty of channels that allow that. I don't allow it here, and I'll tell you why. I want this to be a safe and comfortable space. You can disagree. That's fine. You can disagree. I don't want a lot of heated debate. Don't want you tagging my regulars. And if you are a regular, I really like you and respect you, but I'm sorry, you're not going to be a regular if you keep this up. Towards the end, there was somebody that I really like that's in here all the time that was kind of rapid firing and, tagging people, tagged one of my mods that asked him to stop, chill out a little bit. They have my permission to put that person in time, any people in timeout that they choose. I trust them. I trust them and I don't have time to babysit. So if I see that, you know, somebody's doing that and they've been warned, they've been timed out, they come back angry and start doing it even more or the same. I have 2 options from here. I have timeout or I have hide from channel. You I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. I did that last week with somebody who was only coming to my streams when there was something semi-controversial, had never seen them in my chats before, had seen them in other people's chats. They seemed fine. I liked them, no problem. They can disagree. You can disagree. Um, but please, guys, it just would absolutely break my heart if I had to remove somebody. I wish I could come in the chat and kind of be like, "Hey guys, this is it," but I don't have that option. I don't have the option from here. So, um, you've been warned, and I think some of you know who you are. Just please, guys, it's okay to disagree. Just don't be constantly needling. Please, okay? So, I want to keep this to where people can express themselves and feel comfortable. And if they're being tagged and they're being, harassed for having a different opinion, that's not cool. So, I don't care what side you're on, whatever. But yeah, somebody said we'll zip it up. Sorry. No. You don't have to zip it up, just kind of temper it a little bit, We want to get a happy medium here. I have opened this up as a place that you can come and feel like you can express yourself, be yourself. But guys, just please, and please don't make this harder for my mods. If I lose my mods, then we're sunk. Then I'll have to do pre-recorded videos, or I'll have to just not talk about anything, I'll just talk about I don't know what, but yeah. So please just if I can have your cooperation, that would be amazing. Okay. I think hopefully I've been clear. Hopefully I've been clear. Oh, Denver Steve, I was a bit whiny yesterday. I apologize. I need to sleep for 17 straight hours. I'm better. No, I'm not talking to you. You were fine. Yeah, like if you were whining every third, like if I saw every third or fourth thing being like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," then maybe, but I would just tell you, I would just call you up and be like, Steve, knock it off. No, you're fine, honey. You are fine. Yeah, this there's been a lot of I don't know what to say, how to say it, but yeah, there's emotions been riding high. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I want to make it a comfortable place where people can talk. You know, yeah. So, Kat, this is your house. Yeah. I had a hard time, coming to that realization that like I'm not gonna be liked by everybody. It's okay. Um, I do like I do like to bring people together and have everybody get along. That's not that's an idealistic world, right? In an ideal world, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about idealism, realism, and critical thinking, and what different types of criticism. And yeah, and I love don't burn, please don't burn my biscuits, please. Yes. That's kind of what I say when I don't know what else to say, or I'm afraid I'm gonna really go over the top. I'll just be like, "Burn my biscuits." Yes. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, I see more people coming in. Thank you. No, pre-recorded videos. Okay. You know what? Right now I can't until next Friday. have an appointment for the fiber optic guys to come in and give us better internet. So probably won't be doing a morning musings next Friday, but hopefully it'll be worth it. And I would like to continue the Cult Leaders Toolbox, but it was literally taking like 4 to 6 hours to upload a 10-minute video. It was insane. So that's the main reason why I, you know, why I haven't been able to do that. So, all right. Thank you so much, Joe. I've got some things I've obviously missed. Keep the biscuits warm and toasty. Yes, don't burn them. Just warm and toasty. Yeah. So, hey, everybody. Oh, no talk, Tony. Marilyn, thank you so much for the mug. Oh, it arrived yesterday. Yay. I have my coffee in it. All right. I think I'm trying to remember. Did you get the Mama Bear mug or the SPTV Never Ends? I think maybe the Mama Bear, right? And I ordered a couple of samples for myself so I can show you guys what they look like. And there's a beautiful mug that was a collaboration of Clara that does the merch for the SP shop and all kinds of different designs. And she works for 5 nonprofits, y'all. She's amazing. And Kelly Copter, she did my, how do I do this? Like that. Oh, yeah, that is on the other side of the mug. And Clara did a design with, about the rose thing, my middle name. I'm getting a little choked up. She did a purple rose with a purple skein of yarn and said, "Be true to yourself." So we'll be talking about being true to ourselves today too. So yeah. Denver Stevo, Dianetics is designed to make you feel dumb if you don't get it. Very good point. Very good point. And also to kind of numb you, it's like, well, this guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. And yeah, it's like, well, like I was just very, very intimidated, definitely. Ooh, Minnesota is 28 degrees. Yikes. -4 degrees Celsius in Scotland. What is that? Like 30, 20 something? I'm terrible with Celsius. Hey, Jen, you go next door. You're street smart, Marilyn. That's even better. Well, it's kind of hard to be street smart in the boonies, but well, yeah. I mean, I'm rural road, secondary highway smart, because I know how to avoid moose and bear and deer, wild turkeys. But yeah, no, it's kidding aside. Yeah, I've learned from the School of Hard Knocks and from experience, my own experience. So, Auntie, I got two comments from you, Marilyn. I think you're doing a fine job being welcoming. Thank you, Auntie. I appreciate that. Marilyn, I found your streams quite helpful. You're doing just fine here. Thank you very much, and I appreciate everyone's cooperation. I really do. All right, so good to see you guys. All right, I'm going to just a couple thoughts that have been on my mind, and I got Joe. Thank you so much, Joe, for being here, starring questions. Yes, we do have bears. We have bears, we have moose, we have deer, we have wild turkeys, we have fisher cats. I think I'm more afraid of fisher cats than I am afraid of the bears and all. I really am. Yeah. And we do have some pictures. Sorry, my chair is kind of wobbly today. I got to tighten something. Yeah, I'm more afraid of fisher cats. They are nasty. They're like a smaller version of like a Wolverine. Thank goodness we don't have those. I'm really afraid. Don't burn Marilyn's biscuits. Hit that like button. Yes, please, guys. Hit the like button. That would be amazing. Yes, that would be awesome. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to talk about when I think of critical thinking, I always like to go back to root words. Like I was reading about idealism. So I looked up ideal, and critical thinking. I looked up criticism, like what is being critical. And being critical was always a bad thing when I was in a cult, except for when your cult leader or their minions were criticizing you, but they didn't call it that. They call it admonishing. They called it, anything but criticism. That you never criticize the cult leader, and there was a lot of fear surrounding that. So in order to not be critical, you had to pretty much erase your critical thinking. And it makes me think of what Steve just said about Dianetics, about being confused, and it's made to make you feel like you're dumb. It's like just make you dependent on the cult think and and what they deem as ideal. So which brings me to the idealism versus realism. So I was just when I was in it was of course a gradual thing, but there was this kind of thing that you were always reaching for that was just out of reach. But if you only did things right, if you only had the right thoughts, the right deeds, do the right thing, the right focus, eventually someday you would reach that nirvana, or that you would reach that ideal that is perfect and good and that you're meant to be, right? So I realize now, looking back, that I was just being basically torn down, and like they call it in some circles. I think it was maybe in combating cult mind control. Of course, we know about the bite model. We can talk about that, but about like um free, like, what was it? Sorry. Something about like being unfrozen, like like you're basically being torn down, you're being indoctrinated, and then you're being refrozen. So it's like you're freezing those concepts and those the dogma and the quote doctrine. You're being refrozen into that. It's like solid. It's like, okay, you're being broken down, you're like mush, and then you're being built back up in the image that they want you to be. And it's really hard to penetrate that. It really, really is. So I kind of have sort of a joke about purple, about the color purple, not the movie, but the actual color. Um, I never knew when people asked me like, "What was your favorite color?" or "What's your favorite food? What do you like about this or that?" I couldn't answer that. I had been so stuffed down and so confused and so zombonic, I guess you call it. Like I was like a zombie. I didn't know what I thought. I didn't know what I thought about anything. And honestly, I still fall into that. I really do. And maybe like sometimes the one thing that'll pop into my mind um is like an insecurity of, well, people are going to think that's dumb, or what if I change my mind, right? What if I had such black and white thinking, which is really silly, guys, but I had such black and white thinking that I was just afraid that if I changed my mind, that I couldn't, that I didn't know what I kind of lost my mind. So I didn't even know how to change it, right? But just being governed by fear, you know. And something, a little bit of a theme I've seen um by some comments in the chats, some things that people have said to me on the side, messages I've gotten is I don't want to hash out all this other, rehash everything that's going on in this, SPTV land with, what, all that stuff. But one thing that is almost a theme is that people were saying they were afraid to say their opinion. They're afraid to speak, their heart or their mind. They're afraid. And it's probably because in my case, and I had it too, is because I had put someone else's opinion on a pedestal. I had fear of standing out or saying something unpopular or being myself because I didn't want to put a target on my back. I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, you think that? Well, you're terrible," and it to me it has to do with that. And I want to look. Okay, I want to look at my notes because it's something that I really, feel strongly about, but I gotta like temper it with what I actually wrote. I put okay, idealism, an ideal. So idealism, but Um, the root word ideal is imagined conception of what is perfect or most suitable. And I added, and I got that from Google, but I added that this can cause disappointment and disillusion, disillusionment, right? I think that if we put someone or something or a concept or a group think on a pedestal and we look at that as the end all be all or the ideal, um, it's you're setting yourself up for disillusionment, right? And then comes the realism and possibly cognitive dissonance because you're like, oh damn, like you know I think that I tended to just want to go with the groupthink or the status quo in my call. It was just easier, and I didn't trust my own thinking. I didn't trust my own opinions. I didn't trust my own reasoning abilities or my critical thinking because whenever I tried, it was blamed on the devil or it was blamed on this or blamed on that. So even in this community, I've noticed that there is a tendency to look to the leaders, the bigger channels, as as like some infallible person, and they're not. Nobody is. Nobody's infallible. Nobody's perfect, right? And everybody can think for themselves. And while things like cliches and sayings and stuff become cliches and sayings because a lot of times they're true in many aspects, but using them as thought stopping, using them as the devil made me do it or blaming something, that can shut down your critical thinking. That can shut down your if you're constantly allowing that to just stop your thinking. And again, there's also emotions and tendencies that come with it. Someone said I have no idols. I'm gonna star that. I didn't even read the rest of it, but yeah, idols was a big thing. It was bad, except for my cult leader was an idol, but anything else was bad. So I just want to go back and look and see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, one thing that I found really helpful when I left the cult was going to counseling. I still don't really understand the difference between therapy and counseling. I guess it was therapy as well. We didn't do a lot of like techniques, therapeutic techniques necessarily, but mostly just talking through things and listening. And the thing I found so refreshing about it was for the first time in my life, um, maybe, sorry, before my mom died, for the first time since I was 5, I felt like heard. Um, I felt like somebody was listening and not telling me what to do. Because I just remember my natural mom being or whatever you call it, biological mom, just, holding me and just listening to me and let me ask questions. I used to follow her into the bathroom and ask questions about anatomy. She would very, very calmly answer my questions. So I remember that. Very few memories of when I was that little, but I do remember that. And yeah, going to counseling, it was very refreshing and almost weird because I'd be sitting there and my counselor would ask me. I've had quite probably 3 counselors over the course of 16 years, and they're all great. Loved them all. They would just ask me, "What do you feel about this?" Or, "What went on during this time?" And they would just listen. And it was really strange having someone just listen and not tell me what to do and not tell me how to think. And I'd be like, "So what do you think about that?" And they'd be like, "Well, what do you think?" And I was like, "You wanna know what I think?" You know? Yeah, it was wild. It was wild, and it really helped me to learn, to think, to start thinking for myself, to start being myself, to start finding out, who I am and where I was going and getting some direction that came from within, right? So, in critical thinking really played a part on played a part with that, just learning how to do that. And and I am very emotional, so I do have to put that in check. But I think that we're a whole person, right? We've got we've got emotions, and we've got that inner person that kind of tells you, like your gut feeling. I also really try to listen to that. So yeah, so I was talking about idealism versus realism. My dog's barking. I have no idea why. Could be the UPS guy. Um, so I'm just gonna read just a couple of little thoughts that I had, and definitions, and then we can talk about them. So, like I said, an ideal is imagined conception of what is perfect or most suitable. Can cause disappointment and disillusionment if you put something or someone on a pedestal. And idealism is the practice of forming or pursuing ideals, especially unrealistically. And then realism. Okay, so that's kind of like the opposite of idealism. Realism is the attitude or practice of accepting a situation as it is, being prepared to deal with it accordingly. And then there's another number two, the quality or fact of representing a person, thing, or situation accurately or in a way that is true to life, right? So how do you get there? How do you get from idealism to realism, right? Realism. Um, and not that realism, I'm not saying that you have to be strictly a realist or strictly an idealist. There's always a happy medium, right? Um, you can think about ideals, and as long as you're not completely off in left field, completely off in right field, I think there's a happy medium, and you get there with critical thinking. Now, as I said, critical thinking or criticism in my cult was bad. It was like the word reasonable in Scientology. You don't want to say the word critical or criticism. It was super bad. If you were being critical, you were not being led by the Spirit. You were not being led by the Word of God. You were not having faith, and you were just in, they called it, in the flesh, in the sinful nature, in the old man, because you weren't letting God's word and God's will rule your life. Okay, which ultimately was the cult leader. Oh. So there's three types of criticism that I found in looking, into in the internet. There's destructive criticism, which is tearing down, and actually I want to read from the actual definitions that I found. All right. Um, okay. There are three main types of criticism: destructive, constructive. So we got destructive, constructive, and instructive. Destructive criticism tears down. I think we know that. We've kind of seen that in some of the chats and things. People being torn down, their character being torn down, their motives being torn down, their person being torn down. Then there's constructive criticism, which builds together. It identifies a problem and offers solutions. And then instructive criticism, I thought this was interesting. Instructive criticism adds on to what someone already knows. So yeah, so it just adds to your knowledge. So obviously we don't want to be destructively critical, right? We want to be constructive and possibly instructive. If you can offer some information or some knowledge that can help someone add to the knowledge they already have. And also, constructive criticism builds together. It identifies a problem and offers solutions. And a lot of times I think that it's sometimes how you say something rather than like what necessarily what you're saying, because if you just kind of go into the chats or the comments like gangbusters, and you're being destructive and trying to be constructive, a lot of times people won't see the constructive nature of it and just get defensive, right? So that's something to really keep in mind, you know yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question. What's the difference between a criticism and a critique? You know, I don't really know. I'm not like a wordsmith like my husband is. If he was here, he probably could tell you. Um, I don't know. So maybe somebody can look that up. I'm a big fan of no, I think critiquing is like a movie or like a critic, like a food critic, critique, it's just fancier. Mena says, big fan of constructive criticism. Yeah, I got some the other day. Someone in actually someone in comments on the video I did with Steve-O said, let Steve-O talk more. So I said, thank you for that. And I will work on that for Steve-O. Sorry, Steve-O. I'm apologizing again for that. But it's so hard sometimes because I was so excited. I wanted to talk. But I will work on that. I will work on that. Um, oh, critique is a monologue, I think. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I try to keep an attitude of gratitude. I like that. I like that. All right. I'm starting a couple of things. All right. All right. I definitely will get to these questions. Oh, Liz, hey Liz. Just woke up. I'm going to watch on replay 2 times till I'm caught up. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, you could probably usually with my streams, you can probably skip the first 5 minutes or so because we're just saying hi, and you could probably just see who's in the chat and say hi to them. Yeah. Yeah, so, I was also, gonna just read a couple of little excerpts from different things. I will put the, some of the sources in the description. I didn't have time to, but this is interesting. I got these 5 critical thinking skills from Indeed.com. Okay. So, this is critical thinking skills that basically you need um, to be effective at in the workplace, right? So, critical thinking skills. So, we got observation, analysis, inference, communication, and problem solving. And I will definitely put that in the description so you guys can look at that. I don't want to go down to each one of them because we'll be here quite, but I can maybe take a few of these. So observation, the ability to notice and predict opportunities, problems, and solutions. And that one really struck me because it was the first one, and I was thinking about that is when I was in the throes of the call, okay? Um, I I didn't really observe what was going on around me because um I was so indoctrinated, and I was so like my thinking was clouded. Of course, being worn down with lack of food, all the negative you know talk and propaganda and all the scrubbing things with ammonia and just working, like a workhorse and not being able to sleep well and all that, broke me down. So I didn't see what was obvious. And when I did, I just would shut down. And I've told you, anyone who's heard my story knows that there were literally people losing their minds around me, and some of them were hospitalized, and some of them I had recruited, which is terrible. To this day, I regret that. But I was like so just clouded in my thinking that I couldn't think straight, and I wasn't even aware of my surroundings. When you go into a dangerous situation, you want to be aware of your surroundings, right? Like what Liz Ferris was saying when they all went to the protest in front of the Celebrity Center. She was always like, stay close to your buddy, be aware of your surroundings, be careful. You know, so I thought that was awesome for her to say that because that is something that I think is lacking when you're under coercive control. You know, analysis, the gathering, understanding, and interpreting of data and other information. So that kind of speaks for itself. analyzing information, data, and gathering it so you can analyze it. Um, Inference, drawing conclusions based on relevant data, information, personal knowledge, and experience. So you're gathering the data, but you're also kind of making it personal, applying it to you based on your own personal knowledge, your understanding of it, and your experience. Right? That's how I learn. I have a hard time just getting information if I can't apply it to my real life. It's kind of like a mind dump. It just kind of goes in one ear and out the other, right? Unless I can grab onto it to understand it tangibly, and apply it to something that I'm familiar with, right? Again, the making the information accessible, right? So yeah, and communication, being able to communicate what you've learned and your experiences, and you know, your ability to help maybe others with what you've learned. Sharing and receiving information with others verbally, non-verbally, and in writing. I like that. And then number 5 is problem solving, the process of gathering, analyzing, and communicating information to identify and troubleshoot solutions. So, yeah, and this is all from Indeed.com, but I thought it was really good, and doesn't have anything to do with cults. It has to do with real life, and that's another thing that I think that's sometimes hard, the transition between living in a cult, being born in a cult, being raised in a cult, joining a cult as an adult, being there for many years, having being under coercive control, being under cult abuse, being under just not able to think for yourself, and then transitioning into real life, transitioning into the real world. That's and having those skills of observation, analysis, inference, communication, and problem solving, you know. And if all you have to draw from is what you learned in the cult, um, that's often not going to stand you in good stead, right? So it's a process. It's something that really needs to grow within you and be nurtured, and be fostered, and grow, like I said, be nurtured. Yeah, yeah, that's what makes sense. um okay, so starting some things. Oh, right, we got 17 start questions. Just want to um read a couple of other quick things, and then I'll chat with you guys, because that's what I like the best. That's the part I like the best. Okay. Simple definition of critical thinking. Critical thinking refers to the ability to evaluate information and to be aware of biases or assumptions, including your own. Like information literacy, it involves evaluating arguments, identifying and solving problems in an objective and systematic way, clearly communicates your ideas. Okay. And clearly communicating your ideas, being able to communicate. The 3 types of criticism. What makes a person a critical thinker? Dispositions. Critical thinkers are skeptical, open-minded, value fair-mindedness, respect evidence and reasoning, look at different points of view, and will change positions when reason leads them to do so. Criteria. To think critically, you must apply criteria. So, yeah, I like this. I like especially the part where it says you're able to look at different points of view and will change positions when reason leads them to do so. Um, I think that's healthy, and I think that's great, even to bring that up with the situation that we've all found ourselves in, because of our parasocial relationships and our attachment to this sphere. And it's been a really, really interesting week, 2 weeks. I've had a lot of conversations with people in the community, and some things were just really eye-opening and really interesting. Like the thing about relationships, my friend Peggy, as most of you know, she had the idea a few days ago to do a stream on adult friendships, and we talked about a lot about the parasocial relationships, and we got a lot of feedback about how there's so many people that they feel like this is their community, and sometimes they go days without talking to anybody in real life, and have basically the relationships that they have here are it. And I would encourage people as much as they can to have other relationships besides this community. But this is a very important to many people, and it's very important to me. If I wasn't going out, like I've been out the last 2 nights to my boys' gigs. I went out with my husband last night. We started. We're looking for an artificial tree, but I think we're going to end up with a real one because they were just really sad Charlie Brown ones. And we don't want to spend a ton of money on something that the dogs are just going to eat. So, or wreck. So yeah, we're gonna try to figure out how to do this tree thing. So yeah, trying it's sometimes easier for me to just like stay in the house and just talk to you all and whatever. But I realize that it's healthy to have a balance. But again, this is very important to a lot of people. And that's one big reason why I've really wanted to make this a comfortable place for people to come and talk about things and make connections, because yeah, in this world, like with the as Poe called it, the pandemonium. I don't know if we can say the other word yet. I think we could say COVID. I think we could say that. Yeah, it kind of opened up a whole different way of living, and good and bad, right? Let's be critical thinking about it. Let's critically think about it, right? Yeah. So I thought that was a really great topic that Peggy brought up because it's something that's been kind of coming up. So yeah, I just want to make sure, and I gotta plug my phone in because it's dying. Yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover, and I want to get your input. So yeah, let me just plug my phone in. Sorry, guys. Housekeeping. Housekeeping. All right. Okay, so everybody good here in the chat? I'm gonna read some starred questions. Um, all right. All right. Jen from Ego Next Door. Hey Jennifer. Hachia. I think I said it right, hopefully. Sometimes I don't know if I like what I like because I like it. I understand that. I do. Or if I like it because that's what I'm supposed to like to make my stupid mother proud. Yeah. That's a really good point. And yeah, I definitely had that type of thinking also. And I still do sometimes. Um but it's all a part of finding out who you are and what you like and liking yourself and being able to think what you like, and you can change your mind. You can change your mind, right? I can decide tomorrow that I like blue instead, but I still like purple. Yeah. Thank you for that, John. That was great. Auntie said, Marilyn, I think you're doing just fine in this space for one. I really appreciate the effort you're putting in. Thank you, Auntie. Appreciate that. Cat, Tampa Bay man, I will find myself literally stuck in a place like a statue because I can't decide what I should do next. Yeah. Yeah, the self-doubt and the not being able to think straight. I get you. I totally do. Absolutely. So hey, SPTV fan, I have no idols. I admire work, dedication, and competence. Was said by F1 driver um Artyom Senna. Suck my okay. And was said by okay, Kevin Magnuson. Okay, this must be some kind of pop culture thing because I don't know who that is. F1 driver. Yeah, somebody will have to explain that to me. But I get I have no idols and I admire work, dedication, and competence. Yeah, I understand that part. Ego next door. My boyfriend forces me to make my own decisions. When I ask his opinion, because it's my tendency to ask for approval, he says, "Not going to answer that, Jen. What do you feel about it?" Ah, that's awesome. It helps a lot. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's great. What a good boyfriend. He's a good guy. Love it. Marilyn, it's by design that you didn't trust yourself. Please remember that you were systematically oppressed. The formula really works. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Thank you for that. Love it. I really appreciate that. Yep. Bridget, hey Bridget. Therapy was a tremendous help for me. Yeah, it helps a lot of people. It definitely helped me to be able to talk about things and discover things on my own, but being able to talk about it, with a professional that is trained to help you find the answers within and find out who your authentic self is, right? Kat said, I sometimes don't even trust my own reality due to the destabilization that my abusers intentionally cause in my ability to trust myself. Yep. I don't even feel like nothing is real. Yeah. That reminds me of like the dissociation that happens when you're repeatedly traumatized and abused. And yeah, it's like almost like you like I won't say you, I'll say I turned myself against myself and yeah, didn't trust myself in the way that like I was almost agreeing with my abusers that I was nothing, and that I was completely dependent on them. But we know that's not true. It's just really hard to break the old mind patterns. Yep. Hey, Shell, one with cats. Broadly speaking, counseling tends to be focused on one specific issue and considered a short term treatment. You may learn coping techniques and problem solve the issue together. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. One with cats. Psychotherapy tends to treat a broader range of issues, okay, and more complex problems. It can be a long term treatment. All right, that makes sense too. Yeah. I'll have to go back and read some of these and kind of ponder it. I like that. Manna, I consider myself to be an optimistic realist. I prefer to know the worst possible outcome so I can prepare for it, but hope for the best. Yeah. I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because one of my tools that I use is when I start to get really like worried, freaked out about something, doomsday type thinking, right? Um it's like talk and this is part of the critical thinking skills that I've trying to exercise is um okay, like what is the worst thing that can happen? And if that happens, what would I do? And then and then I go, the worst case scenario, then I go back from there. It's like that's probably not going to happen. So, okay, let's be hopeful and optimistic and deal with what most likely will happen. So, yeah, I can get behind that. That makes sense. Tampa Bay man, my photophobia makes it so hard to reach out to a therapist. I'm not sure what that is. What's photophobia? You'll have to tell me. Um, yeah, I don't want to speak to that because I got a word. I need that word cleared. I mean, I know what a photo is and I know what phobia is, but I'm pretty sure it's not being afraid of pictures. So yeah, if you can tell me, that would be great. I want to learn. I learn from you all. I really do. I really do. Auntie Harju, Tampa Beeman, if I ever get negative feedback, I keep on repeating in 24/7. Mm, yeah. Um, yeah, it's hard not to dwell on things. But yeah, I feel like I try not to if I'm dwelling on something, like with my poor husband, because he's here all the time, although he's not today. It's probably why he goes skiing and hiking every day. He's probably just escaping from me. No, he says he's not, but um, yeah, sometimes I'll like be turning something over in my mind, like over and over and over, and I'll realize that I'm like I'm like repeating myself, and I'm just like, and he doesn't, like, come out and just be like, "Shut up," but he's just like, "Well, yeah, we talked about that and blah, 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 and let's," nicely says, "Let's move on." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, the poor guy, he's gotta hear me, obsessing over this or that." So, yeah, I try not to do that to him. And I try not to do that in the chats too, so let's all try not to do that. That would be nice. And you guys are great. You guys are doing great. Um Shell says, I think critique is constructive based on performance. Criticism is a more hurtful and negative judgment. Okay, critique is constructive, right? Criticism. Well, yeah, unless it's constructive criticism, right? Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of semantics. I'm not sure. Yeah, I just think of critique as more like fancy, like let's critique this book or this movie. Yeah, but I don't know. Oh, here we go. Ego next door 10. In my perspective, critique is like a review. That's kind of where I was going with my thought processes with that. Something usually by an expert, informed and very objective. Criticism is non-expert, opinion driven. Yeah. Well, we're critically thinking about the words critique and criticism, right? We're critiquing critique and criticism. I'm sure there's definitions out there that we can critique. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Kat. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy Maryland Kleenex. Yes. I haven't cried yet, guys. Have I? Oh, geez, have I? I might have gotten choked up. I'm sorry. But yeah, I do go through a lot of Kleenex. Thank you. Thanks so much, Kat. Uh, Susan, critique seems like an opinion. Criticism seems personal. Yeah, it could be. Hmm. All right, this was starred. Cat but no hat. This is to Auntie. We're so good at weaponizing compliments, constructive criticisms against ourselves, at which we think, "See, I was right all along. I do suck." Yeah, yeah, we got to stop that, right, guys? Because I don't want anybody, being mean to my friends, including if it's you. Don't be mean to yourself because you're my friend, right? Don't do it. Uh, Terry H. Maryland, thank you for being so level headed. Your videos are really helping me to keep my cool and maintain my perspective. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And you all help me. I mean, we all are able to talk and grow together and to get things off our chests. And I like that. I like to have that safe space without, it's like, man, people can accuse us, oh, you're gossiping, oh, you're dwelling, or you're doing this, or you drama and, drama and this and that. No, I don't feel that way. I feel like we're just people being able to talk about things in a healthy way, right? And move on, because how can you move on if you don't deal with things? So, oh, hey, Kelly, Kelly Copter. Hi, sweetie. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Like I said, I miss your face. I miss FaceTiming with you. Um, Joe says, I don't believe in a God, but if one did exist, she or he would be so beyond anything we can comprehend. And thus, by extension, anyone who claims to know such is foolish, arrogant, or a fraud. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can see that. Yeah. And I often say this is that this I often say this is that Marlene Sweeney, you know how I like to say her name any chance I get because she earned it. Uh Seriously though, guys, most of you know that I found out recently that she has terminal cancer, and I'm not sure what's going on right now. And I don't feel I didn't do that. That was great, Joe. She's like, "Thank you, Joe." It's great. Yeah, that was very timely. Yeah, why not? Okay. I was trying to have respect for, but yeah, you know what? Wine and not. I don't have any wine, but yeah. Yeah, cheers. Cheers, Marlene. Mm. Yeah. I don't wish cancer on anyone. I don't wish, ill will on anyone, but I tell you, I'm not expecting, any kind of closure. I'm not, going to, reach out, and I kind of hope I don't care. I don't care if anybody reaches out to me. I don't need it. I don't maybe it would be nice in an ideal world, but I feel like that ship has sailed. I'm more concerned with, having it not, carry on or turn into another whole big movement, because sometimes, you know, even artists become some of them become more famous after they pass away. Some cult leaders do. Some are replaced by somebody worse, like David Miscavige replaced L. Ron Hubbard. So I will be keeping an eye on that. Her daughter always said she'd write a book of her terrible oppressive teachings. So we will be doing a book report on that. And yeah, I was another thing I was thinking of is that um, to speak to what Joe was saying is that if there's a God out there, I'm just saying, Marlene better hope that it's not the God that she pictured or that she taught us, because she got some splaining to do if that's the case. You know, just saying. So okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm just going through some stuff. Auntie Harju, a personal take. I have found internet as an introvert be quite helpful in all those things. Watching these streams is the closest I have to having friends. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the case with a lot of people, and it's understandable. It's understandable, and maybe we should talk about that a little more. I'm um, definitely not an expert, definitely not an expert, but yeah, I feel like we are a community. And oh, here's another talking about the internet, Kellycopter. The internet is a double-edged sword for sure. Personally, I have to take breaks to keep my brain healthy. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I was getting into a pattern at night because I was really trying to show support to other creators that are friends of mine. But I realized I can't be on the internet, doing my channel in the morning and then at night just being there 3 4 hours watching everybody else's streams or modding or things like that. It isn't healthy for my brain. So I agree with that. And I have made some very meaningful friendships, like with Kelly and many of you. So there's some really really good things about it. But yeah, remembering self-care and balance, isn't that what life kind of boils down to, is like not just kind of keeping a balance, right? Not going into extremes, right? Joe DeSeppo, a lot of cults will make you feel like the real world isn't real or nothing is real. Yeah. Yeah. Or just feeling like this world is like a prison planet, a fallen nature, a fallen world. It's like this life is nothing. This world is nothing. Just don't value it. And yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree with them. I agree with you saying that a lot of them do that. Yeah. Oh, super chat. Oh, Kelly, you don't have to send me a super chat. Thank you, sweetheart. Thanks for keeping me company whilst traveling. Love you. Yes, absolutely. Loves keeping you company. Oh, from a poet. Her name is Marlene Sweeney. Her name is Marlene Sweeney. Her name is Marlene Sweeney. Yes. Oh, you're so good at this. Joe. Cheers, everybody. Everybody drink your water or whatever you have. Yep. Kat says, "Oh my God, I think you might be right when you say the feeling of nothing is real is a form of dissociation." Yeah, yeah, I would. That makes sense. Definitely. Nancy, hey Nancy, my mind immediately thinks there's a right answer for this, as if I can only respond the right answer according to my cult training. A Scientologist would think, what did I do to pull this in? Yeah. Yeah. Again, that's that, stop thought, uh, thought, thought stopping. I can't say something. The thought stopping cliches or the patterns of thinking that shut you down, y'all are keeping me hydrated. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So, but yes, Nancy, that makes a lot of sense. That's definitely been my experience. Yes, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. Um, okay. All right, guys. It sounds like we're having a little bit of a therapy session in here. And yeah, if anyone wants to email me, and there's a private chat. Oh, respectful enough. Oh, Joe, do you wanna pop in? She's like this. Give me the thumbs up if you want to hang out. It's up to you, or you can just give me a private chat. I just saw yours, so just let me know if you want to pop in and hang out. I miss you. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. We have a special guest, and we can go through some more of these comments, and uh, we'll get your input, Joe. This is amazing. Hold on a second. I just want to start a few more things, and we'll pop you up. Hey, there you are. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Is there an
Yeah,
echo, or do
cool.
I need to put my headphones on, or are you good? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right. Let me
Can you
know
hear
if there's
me?
an echo. I can hear you fine.
Cool.
All right. Hey, so how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Got a bit of a headache, but otherwise I'm good. Good,
Oh,
so yeah.
seems like everybody has a headache lately. I had one. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's
I
telling
think
me
there's
that.
something going round.
Yeah, around the world, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so what do you think? What's going on?
Um, yeah, this has been interesting. I guess for those who don't know, who might be a bit confused, I've seen the whole thing because I've been backstage, starring things in that. Um, so yeah, I found this quite an interesting chat. Everyone's made great points. So, um,
Yeah, I'm just looking through some more of the chats that have happened since.
oh,
And oh,
um,
did I do that?
hey,
Hey, yeah, good to see you, Joe. I know it's been a while.
it has
Let's see.
indeed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
And
just
yeah, I guess
starting some
anyone
things.
who, sorry, go on.
Go ahead. Yeah, if you want to introduce
I
yourself.
was just going to say, anybody who hasn't seen my backstory or whatever you want to call it, it's here on Marilyn's channel. There's a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah, I could put that if you can remind me, Joe, because I know I have to change something on the title. Hey, Joe. Um, yeah, I could put that in the description of this video too, so that people can
Yeah, I'll
refer
get a
to
link
it if
in.
you
Give me a
haven't
second.
seen. Yeah, the 2-part interview that we did. It is Joe's experiences in Diamond Way, a cult that is, yeah, a former her former cult, and very interesting points that she brought up, and her experiences, and yeah, I think it's definitely worth looking at, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess the thing I was saying about making it so that reality isn't real, that was a big thing because it's all about um like kind of karma and reincarnation, about how it's not considered real. How
Right.
yeah, I don't know how to explain explain it now, but
Yeah,
does that
I
make sense? How I was
yeah,
saying about
no,
that?
totally, because you've been through the the constructing the program, all the D, all the D's,
It's a work in progress.
of your own, right, and yeah, I understand that too. It's definitely still, I'm kind of doing it right on screen with you guys, right, daily, but
Same.
yeah, isn't it it's interesting to me that we're in a place where we talk to and listen to a lot of the experiences of ex-Scientologists, but I can really relate, and I can also relate to your experiences, Joe. And you were in a different cult than myself and Scientology, but the similarities are so uncanny. It's just wow. When we talked, I was blown away by the similarities.
And that's
Definitely.
why things like Dr. Hassan's bite model, you can really see the patterns. And I think this is something that's quite common, and why SPTV has been a big thing, or whatever it's called now,
Mhm.
where, like, there we go, there's part one. I was
Yep.
just copy
Okay.
pasting part two.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
but like once you see, like a lot of people will see the patterns in another group, and then once that enables them somehow to like go, oh, hang on, and then that's
Mhm.
when it kind of clicks, I think.
Yeah. I didn't. I mean, there's not that many people that left Door of Hope because it's just a small cult, and there's a lot of people that have left similar cults to mine, because there are literally thousands of micro cults all over the place. There's a part two, good, but yeah, I would say this, and it's true. I always feel like the ex Scientology community was easier for me to learn what happened to me, because the language wasn't as triggering, even though the concepts were similar. So thanks, Joe, for the link. Yes, thank you. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so we I haven't talked to you in a while, and I know you work during the week, so we usually connect on Saturdays. So yeah, what's been going on as far as have you been following any of this situation? Do you have any words of wisdom?
Oh, so don't ask me for words of wisdom. That's a bad idea. Um, so I'm aware of what's been going on. I'm how I don't know. Can open worms everywhere?
Yeah, you don't have to give your opinion,
Yeah.
or you
Um,
don't have to dox yourself. I just thought I always like your perspective, because again, you've come from
yeah.
a place of being able to speak from experience, and you were what, 19 when, was it 19 or 18? Were you
18.
younger?
18.
18? Okay,
Between
when you
18 and
start.
21.
Okay, right. So, and that's the prime time you know, for
It's a prime
cults
time
to,
for it to really get in your head. That's the
yeah,
problem. Mm.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, in the idealism is definitely
Mm.
in play there, I think. I know it was for me, because I
Yep.
just turned 20. So, I just turned 20. Yeah, so it's been a journey being on here and talking about some people ask me, like, how do you come up with your material? Like, what are your content? Like, don't you run out of things to say? And I'm like, not really, because it's so complicated, like, right? I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, do you still think of things like, "Oh, I have never thought of it that way," or, you know, it is a process, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You have like, I don't want to say, I don't, so I call them revelations, but I understand in
That's
your
okay.
group that might have different meanings.
Yeah, that's okay. I can handle it
But
now.
like
Maybe
it's,
6 months ago? Yeah, it's alright.
you can have revelations about things and see things in different ways. And there's, I've heard lots of people refer to it as like peeling an onion, um, which I think is particularly appropriate because each layer you pull off, there are tears. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, it's peeling the onion layers. I think is a good one, and you kind of figure things out as you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I do cry a lot, so that makes sense to me. Definitely.
Me too, just not on stream.
Yeah. All right. Sophia says Scientology is sort of unique and a visibly extreme version, enabling people to associate the patterns with problematic pattern, even on a smaller scale. Yeah, I understand that. I, um, yeah, no, I totally understand that, and in some ways, Scientology is a visibly extreme version, because you've got the fair game, and you've got the celebrities, and you've got the whole and the Sea Org and all that, but also I don't like to compare, but I also think that, like, in some ways, every cult has its, at least in my experience, every cult has its extreme, thing, even though it's not in the spotlight. But I don't know of any Scientology teachings that say that if you don't toe the mark, you're going to burn forever and ever and ever and ever, or that if you don't take this mark on your hand or your forehead, you will be, decapitated. So I think every cult has its way to fear monger its followers. But you're right, Sophia. I think Scientology is a really good example, and the language is so specialized that it wasn't triggering to me. So yeah, how do you feel about that, Joe, about your cult? Like, what were some of the things that you think that you've overcome as far as, like, fear tactics and, some of the language and things like that?
Oh, good question. Um, uh, yeah. Hmm. So I mean, I guess I mean, when you get out, you lose fear of the leadership. Um, but the more insidious things like a a belief in karma, for instance, which I no longer
Mm,
believe in. Um,
mhm,
and I guess I want to clarify as well. This is not like karma in the traditional Buddhist or Hindu sense. It's very much twisted and
mm,
by this group. But yeah, so things like that. I guess once none of them are talking to you anymore, you're not afraid of that happening because it's happened.
right, right,
Um, yeah. So, oh, that
yeah,
reminds me. Uh, anyone who's watching this who was also in Diamond Way and wants to reach out to me, please do because I've not spoken to anyone else, and I know that you're out there because I've seen things online. So I'm not going to
yeah,
mention names, but I please do. I'd love to talk. So
yeah. There's been quite a few
yeah,
comments on the two-part interview that we did.
exactly. Yeah,
So yeah, people are
yep.
definitely uh searching and commenting and thinking about it. It's yeah, and I
And
would
I'm really
definitely
glad. I'm really
yeah,
glad that people who are in the position I was when I was 18. There wasn't the stuff on the internet then. It was back then. But
right,
like I I'm glad that those people who are now searching for Diamond Way or Olanidal, you put his name in, this will come up and other things will come up, the Rick Ross
right,
forum and things like that
yeah,
just were not there. And yeah, that's good because people are forewarned, then we
yeah.
know.
From what you've told me, it does have all the classic, earmarks or I say flavor bells of a cult. The charismatic leader, the sketchy past, the coercive control, sort of a inner circle, sort of commune type situation, uh,
Oh, I say it
alleged,
loud and proud. Diamond Way is a cult.
alleged, right? But yeah, but I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're shedding light on it, and to me, it was a good feeling to just be like, I'm tired of Marlene Sweeney getting away with not anyone knowing her name. So we need to, yeah, we can add old Ollie to that.
That
Okay,
took me a
how do you
moment. Sorry.
pronounce his name? How do you pronounce his name?
Oh, Ole Nidal.
Ole Nidal. Ole
Ole
Nidal.
Nidal.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
You
Danish.
got that, guys? Ole Nidal. We like to say his name around here any chance we get because he earned it.
Insert banner here. Don't have one, but
Hmm. We can work on that. Yeah. So we got a few more questions or comments. Okay. Denver Stevo. We live deep in cancel culture right now. Sometimes it is deserved. Sometimes we go too far. People are afraid to speak out against a group think because we fear being canceled too. Yeah, I can understand that. Right. Yeah. And we're not in a cult, right? So hopefully we can be able to disagree. And yeah, it is risky, but um with friends like that, who needs enemies, right? It's like if people want to, I mean, I don't understand it as far as like the SPTV, like who's going to cancel you? Like who has the power to cancel you? Only the people that watch you and they don't like, if they don't agree with you, they can stop watching you. But I mean, there's no leader that can cancel you. I hope. I don't think, you know. But yeah, I am afraid of getting canceled too. I don't even know what it is, but I'm afraid of it happening. But I'm not afraid enough to shut up. So I'm not gonna shut up. Right.
I was just going to say, this reminds me of something I was going to say earlier, which is that speaking out is a lot like when people speak out about having been like a victim of a scam. And when you look at it in those terms, it's kind of like a victim of an elaborate scam, right? That we were.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and when people are like ashamed or to speak out, that feeds into or helps the scammers. So it's kind of good to break through that. And yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the whistleblower kind of concept is if you and we've talked about this before, Joe, about if you identify a problem, start talking about it. If you see a problem, point it out, all of a sudden you become the problem, because nobody wants to look at it, and that there's that extremism, idealism, all that, and it's just don't criticize, don't be critical, don't be be a pain in the ass.
There's no problem here. You just
Yep.
have ego problems and you're spiritually
Oh,
weak and mentally ill.
yeah. And we had, yeah, with me, it was, you are in the flesh. You're thinking, you're not thinking by the spirit. You're not walking by the spirit. And so you had to just, there was this saying about don't look to the right or to the left. It's like, pay no attention to the, the pink elephants in the room, right? It's just look forward. Yeah. It's just nuts. Nuts.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to
That's
put up,
quite telling when you put it that way, isn't it?
yeah, it's like, yeah. And that was something. It was like, don't look to the right or to the left. Don't let your right hand know
Ignore
what
the
your
red
left hand's
flags.
doing. Yeah. So Auntie says, people can be very judgmental of others, myself included. I'm human after all, but there's good critique, there's bad, and one can and should make a choice in all of it. Yeah, yeah. And I find that it's good to kind of take a step back sometimes, and it's okay to express your opinion, but it's not going to go well if you're shoving it down people's throats. So I just try to listen to the other sides of every, not other sides. I'm not taking sides necessarily, but just to all ways, angles and all sides of an argument, because yeah, sometimes and I'll be the first one to admit it. I tend to identify with people that handle things the way I do, or feel the same way, or just have a way of doing things. Like I'm very emotional, and I have been very idealistic. So I try to be a little more, you know, realistic too. So, you know. Oh, we got Liz Scale saying, drinking coffee here. That's great graphics. Yeah, Kelly Copter made that. Of course. One day I was thinking out loud and she just popped it up. She's like this. Yeah. Liz said, everyone in this chat is wonderful. I love being part of this crew. Thank you. I feel the same way. I love these morning chats and everybody. Yes. I see. I don't have that thing that the hearts come out. I don't have a iPad. Oh, look. Did you just make that? That is gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, guys, she makes these. Do I have a banner with your YouTube? It's at Joe DeCeppo, right?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Do we have a
I'm
banner?
looking through the banners now.
I
Nope.
never made a banner? Oh, great banner.
That's fine.
What is this?
I'll stick it in the
At
comments.
Joe DeCeppo. I know, but I like making banners too. At Joe DeCeppo. Add banner.
Thank you, poet.
Joe DeCeppo. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
I think it usually has caps on the name, but I don't think it matters. I don't know if it's
I think if
case
you just
sensitive or
plug it
not.
into YouTube, yeah. I
Okay,
find
then,
that's
yeah.
the best way to get straight to your channel.
Yes.
Yeah. Purple Groovy said, love is not only something you feel, it's something you do. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Joel said, my brother used to tell me that I was thinking too much. Then I realized that my mind is like a bad neighborhood. You don't want to go there alone. I love that. It's so funny. Uh-oh. Sivo said, decapitated, but can I still live in the slummy suburbs? Yes, you can live in headless slum heaven. If you miss the rapture, which I always felt I was going to, and you go through the tribulation and you don't take the mark of the beast 666 on your hand or forehead, you can choose to be martyred in that way. I know, isn't this crazy? Yeah, this was like, yeah, this was our reality. This is something we were taught that as fact. Yeah, you will go to heaven, but you won't go to good heaven. You won't get a mansion. You will be in the headless slums. And I never asked, because when I did the podcast with Roberta Blevins from Life After MLM, she's like, did anyone raise their hand and say, excuse me? I'm like, oh, what? You don't ask questions? No. You don't ask questions. I don't know who's famous. She's famous now. Should satisfy her ego. I'm not sure who that was about. Do we
I
know?
think it was about this person.
Oh, see, I'm very blind sometimes. There you go. Yes, because she earned it.
You and me both.
She's famous now. Yeah, we got to put Ole. What is it? Is it Ole or
Ole.
Ole?
Ole Nidal.
Ole Nidal. I gotta practice that one.
Convicted
Yeah, she
drug
was
smuggler.
alleged. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
he
a
spent time in
lot.
prison for that. So that's not so
He
alleged.
did. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's convicted. Okay, good. We don't have to say that. Yeah. Miss Sunrise Dawn reminds me of Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Pay no attention. Yep. Yeah. So well, we've been going about an hour and a half. I think I'd like to wind down at some point soon, but we can say hi. Yeah, we'll just say hi to everybody. Reese, we've got another Reese. Hello. Lene, who else we got that we haven't said hi to? Oh, Martha. Hey, Martha. Poet, yes, people deserve a second or third chance depending on how egregious a fault, right? But when toxic people show who they are again and again, I have to get out of the way. Yeah, that makes sense. I know I just break into people's conversations. But yeah, I'd love to get everyone's feedback. You can email me or put some thoughts in the comments. Anyone who's watching the replay, thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it. And I hope I was a little bit clear. Again, guys, I'm not an expert. I'm not I don't have a degree or any of that, but like Joe here, we've got experience and right and yeah, it's so any closing words, Joe?
Um,
Not to put you on the spot.
just a bit. Um, yeah, no, I was trying to think of something clever, but I can't because I'm not clever.
Yes, you are. You're really good with words. I'm jealous. Oh, I think we have a question about is this about
Yes,
Ola and
Olenida
Nadal?
was also, I think, well, so I think so. I'm not quite so sure on that, but I think so, yeah.
So Sophia
With
asked
hate
for
speech
those.
in Austria because of all the stuff he says about
Oh, right.
Muslims and,
Yes.
yeah, all that. So,
Yeah. So, yeah,
and
just
people of
for those
color.
doing the dishes or driving, Sylvia asked, and wasn't he convicted of hate speech in Austria too? And that's
Yeah,
Ole
and this is
Nadal who
Olenida, the leader of the Diamond Way cult.
right, right, that,
Yep.
that you escaped from or left. Yes. Yes, and for anyone who hasn't seen that, definitely check out, those 2 streams that we did. It tells
It's all on, oh, that way,
oh,
Marilyn's channel.
yes, tells your story, and it was really, really eye-opening and amazing. I didn't know much about, what we used to call new age cults, which is really old age because it was a Buddha, it kind of touted itself as being a Buddhist, based
Claimed to
cult,
be,
but it
yeah.
really wasn't, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
I guess you
Yeah.
could say it was New Age because it was founded in the 60s. So,
Right, except that, Buddhism and Hinduism and all those are very
yeah.
those are older religions, yeah. My go-to line when I can't say something clever is, "I got nothing."
Same. I got
Yeah.
nothing.
No, you don't. Okay, everybody, it's so great to hang out with you. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing a stream tomorrow. I'll have to see what's going on, but thanks, Joe. Thank you for starting questions. Thank you for hopping on
Thank you
with
for having
me.
me.
So good to see you, and, yeah, we'll
Likewise.
see everybody soon. Bye. See you later.